Just received a priority mail shipment today. If you're watching this video, you probably already know what's in this box. I'm not going to unbox it on camera. Just really excited to finally get my hands on one of these and see what all the fuss and all the rave is about this particular unit. So we'll
over the
find
next
out.
few months, an estimated $34.6 billion is up for grabs to anyone who stakes their claim. Yep, you heard that right. $34.6 billion. To get all the details.
So it works. This is a Sony ICF-2010. In the late 70s or the early 80s, for Christmas one year, my parents gave me the predecessor of this one, which was the ICF-2010. I ended up, I gave that radio to my brother. Think of this radio as an ICF-2010 on steroids, or maybe on crack, I don't know. Out of the box, sounds really nice. A little bit of a secret for those of you who have never tuned one of these radios, but it takes two sets of batteries. The computer uses two AA batteries, which I believe, I could be wrong, but I think the 2001 used one AA battery for the computer. But then this also takes 3 D cells for radio reception. Comes with a nice Sony branded carrying strap. Now, I'm really going to try to experiment with the most controversial feature on this radio, which is sync detection. Now, let me just tune this in slow. Let's see if we can get this thing to lock. Look at that. Here's my lower sync. Bring it up. Wow, it locks on lower. Doesn't look like it on this frequency anyways. It syncs on upper. Definitely syncs on lower.
G and WTAG-HD, Worcester.
But does it really make a difference?
This is a Fox News alert. Sentencing day for a...
You know, a lot of people say, oh, I've got sync detection in my radio. It works great. And then they never qualify it and say, well, what does it do that's great? What do you like about it? Does it help with adjacent signal rejection? Does it help with selective fading? Does it help with fidelity? They never qualify it. They'll just say, oh, it's the best sync detector ever. Well, that's awfully vague and awfully ambiguous. But you see, we're locked on lower right now. I still, honestly, I think it's a marketing gimmick. I've got a white paper that I'm reading right now that the American Radio Relay League published when this radio was out. And they actually went so far as to think that radio stations might start broadcasting in either upper or lower to accommodate for sync detection. Well, that never really happened, and sync detection was never the magic bullet that they said it was going to be. But I gotta commend the shipper. He did a wonderful job packaging this thing. No damage, worked right out of the box. Over here we've got what looks to be a brand new AC adapter power supply. Really nice one. Sony, during this day, let's say in the 70s and the 80s, they did a wonderful job of packaging. Most of their stuff was, if anything, was over-engineered. But next thing I'm going to do, it's daytime, of course, but I'm going to extend the telescoping antenna, see if we can pick up any shortwave, and if so, what we can do with sync detect. I'm wondering if there's any secret or any mystery to getting sync detection to work on this radio. I've been fiddling for a while now. It either loses sync or it's impossible. Once you've tuned in a station, we're up over 13 megahertz here. The instructions say once one of these lights comes on, to slowly tune, which I'm doing right now. We're in slow tuning mode, and get the other light to come on. Well, I have not seen that upper sync light come on once. All I've seen is if I tune too far off, the lower light will come off, which we saw right there. We tune it so that light comes back on, which I'm trying to do now. Okay. Then it says to tune slowly so that the other light comes on. The other light being the upper sync. It does not happen. It just will not lock. So if anyone has any ideas, I doubt it's a circuit issue. Maybe it's my technique. Maybe I'm doing it all wrong, as people on the internet love to point out. But I cannot get that upper sync light to come on. We'll tune around again, see what we can find. Let me turn sync off. Try to get this thing to lock. WWV on 20 megahertz. I think we're going to hear the female voice, so it's WWVH. Here's the male.
42 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Oh, maybe not. I did hear WWVH earlier. It's switched down to 15 megahertz. You can hear it in the background. The touring. Must have lost it, but in any event, this radio is nice. It's very sensitive. I still haven't figured out sync detection and why it doesn't follow the instructions. Someone online said that I should remember that the instructions were originally written in Japanese and translated into English, which I understand that, but it still doesn't answer my question as to why the upper sync light will not come on. I'm following the instructions. We're certainly getting the lower sync to work, but the upper one will not come on. I'll go through a few more features on this radio. Okay, so on the side you've got a tone control with 3 settings: news, low, and high. News is really nice for spoken voice. You've got an AM RF gain if you've got an overloading signal. On the other side, you've got inputs for external antennas, AM, air, and FM. We'll tune up the air bands next. You've got an attenuator for DX and local. I just leave it in DX and be done with it. A jack for going to a cassette recorder, or in today's day and age, maybe an iPhone or an iPod. Earphone jack, I'm going to get into that a little bit. My external power input and my main power switch. Now when I shut main off, you see right there, I've got an error 3 that comes on. I have no clue what that is, nor did the seller tell me anything about it.
Runway 1129er ILS out of service, CME out of service, runway 11 PASI out of service, runway 15 ASCII out of service, MS tower 2.8 north-northwest, 1675 feet MSL. Hazardous weather information available on high wall for flight service frequencies. Advise on initial contact, use information call.
I really don't know why Sony included airband on this radio. It's kind of out of place, and to really have done it right, they would have included some kind of rudimentary squelch control, but it works.
Taxiway Foxtrot closed. Taxiway still condition ice. Braking action medium to poor. Runway 1129er ILS out of service. CME out of service. Runway 11 PASI out of service. Runway 15 ASCII out of service. MS tower 2.8 north-northwest. 1675 feet MSL.
Really, for airband, no special features, or you just activate it with the air button right there. But nothing special.
09er, altimeter is 2978. Expect your RNAV or visual pressure runway 29er. Runway 1129er.
Maybe we'll tune it up on FM next.
It's extremely neat. Maybe this is something you should discuss.
But you would not be the first person to suggest that to me, Marjorie.
Okay, Rachel in Rhode Island, thank you for calling.
It's WGBH FM out of Boston, which is about 50 miles from me. Nice sound.
Trust me,
seems to do pretty well. I'm not going to tune in any music stations out of my constant fear of being bagged by the copyright police, but
to begin with, and then would love
you
to
see
have it
we
labeled
can
and sealed in another bag, but
direct
with time
dial a
constraints
station
and
in,
having to have it in the refrigerator, it's just where it
897.
has to go.
Yeah, well, I get if you spend
Execute.
a half an hour in the
And
bathroom,
we're there.
and lots of
That
times you end up
simple.
having to be in the bathroom because there isn't a place to
Like dialing up a phone number. So in conclusion, if anyone has a secret or a technique to get this upper sync light to come on, I'd love to know what it is, because every time I activate sync detection, we'll do it right here, it defaults to lower. And despite any tuning that I do off frequency in the slow mode to get that upper light to come on, it just will not illuminate. If you own a 2010 and you get that upper sync light to come on, I'd love to know. And if you're really enamored of synchronous detection, specific examples beyond it works great, please let me know. If it works great for you, let me know what you like about it. Is it adjacent station interference rejection? Is it improved selective fading performance? Is it improved fidelity? Don't just say it works great. Tell me what you like about it. I'd love to know. I think for now, this radio is going to be one of those like it, don't love it type of radios. And I don't see why this radio has the reputation that it does. It's good, it's not great. Same thing I said about my Grundig Satellite 800 Millennium. It's good, it's not great. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Any thoughts? Anyone who can solve the mystery of synchronous detection, please leave a comment. Thank you very much.